building. Emergency exits behind you. That door puts you outside. That door would put you out on the ramp. Okay. Roll call, please.
Good.
Mr. Decker.
Here.
Mr. Almquist.
Here.
Mr. Stowe.
Here.
Mr. Crispell.
Here.
Chairman Lee is excused.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Okay. I've taken the liberty to rearrange the agenda to where we will do there are 4 lot line adjustments to be made with resolutions tonight. We'll do those first, and then we'll go on with the Xena development and then with the Ridge. If that's okay with everyone, it's okay with us.
That's fine.
So, first order of business is Emmanuel.
Hello, my name is Joe Manuel, my wife Marilyn, and he's my neighbor. And we'd like to give him 10 feet of land next to his house, just so he has more access to his outside doors.
And that's it.
That's it. We want to give him 10 feet of land. Yeah, it's a lot line adjustment, I believe.
Okay, and all the paperwork is in order, I imagine?
Yes, yeah, we got a surveyor to make adjustments on both sides, and we get the deeds adjustment, the deed description adjustment.
Okay,
Has the surveyor supplied you with a new map yet?
No, we
Okay.
didn't, we want to wait for the board's decision before we,
Okay.
yeah, we do that.
That was the only thing the town planner requested, was the
Yeah.
updated map, so our chairman could sign it,
Right,
because it has to be filed with the county.
right.
Who was your surveyor?
Charles, something from Germantown. I have his,
Okay.
That's our map, and much to my chagrin, we found out I replaced my shed, and when I replaced the shed, it's partially on his property, so I have to move it. So,
I had a conversation with Mr. Emmanuel, and since he's the owner of the other property, he's agreed that you can move it onto your property, but you don't have to meet the setback.
okay.
The rear.
Oh.
So you can put it closer to the line, so you're not moving it as far as you would.
And not 9 feet, I have to move it,
Is that how far it encroaches? Okay. Yeah, but that's better than having to move it 24 feet.
yeah. Sure. It is.
I have no further comments.
Okay. Here's a resolution that the planner put together.
Be it resolved, the planning board has determined that they have complied with the procedural requirements of Part 617 of the State Environmental Quality Review Act. And be it further resolved, the Town of Ulster Planning Board hereby grants lot line adjustment approval as described above, subject to the conditions, limitations, and restrictions set forth below. The applicant must file with the Town of Ulster a map or plat for this lot line adjustment prepared by a licensed surveyor prior to said map being signed or filed as noted below. Said map shall be reviewed by the town code enforcement officer prior to being signed by the chairman of the planning board. Upon filing of the map noted above, said map may be filed with the office of the county clerk after being signed by the chairman. No changes, modification, or revisions shall be made to any plat after approval by the planning board. The final plat must be filed with the county clerk within 62 days of the date final plat is approved by the planning board. All fees, including consultant fees, shall be paid.
Thank you. Thank you. We need a vote on the resolution.
I need a motion.
A motion?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second it.
Second it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion's carried.
Thank you.
Resolution's in place. Good luck with your lot line move.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Let's do the honey harvest and I lost track of time.
Okay, next on the agenda is the Repco. And we're,
It's just like, holy crap.
we can discuss that.
Cooperate.
No, it don't.
So we're all familiar with the Rupco project. They came before the board for an adaptive reuse of the old Quality and Ramada Inn. At the time they came to us, the adjacent lot was not clear title, so they couldn't purchase the lot to accomplish what they're setting out to do. Since then, they have purchased this vacant lot, which is adjacent to the thruway. And part of the approval for the project was that this lot line be removed to make the entire project one parcel.
And the lot line you're talking about is the dotted line?
This dotted line right through here. Just to clean it up so we're not crossing property lines. Most of this is going to be their rec area and the like. Like I said, it was a stipulation of the approval from the town board and this board.
Okay.
Make sure they took care of it.
The planner again, who was home with a bad cold, has created a resolution.
This is a resolution granting lot line adjustment. Be it resolved, the Town of Ulster Planning Board hereby grants lot line adjustment approval as described above, subject to the conditions, limitations, and restrictions set forth below. The applicant must file with the Town of Ulster a map or plat for this lot line adjustment that has been prepared by a licensed surveyor. The map may be filed with the office of the county clerk after being signed by the chairman of the planning board. No changes, erasures, modifications, or revisions shall be made to any map after approval by the planning board. The final plat must be filed with the county clerk within 62 days of the date the plat is approved by the planning board. All fees, including consultant fees, shall be paid.
I'll make a motion.
Need a motion for that
I'll
resolution?
second it.
You get those names? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Rupco is finished. Okay, Burlingham.
Hi,
Right here.
name's John Burlingham. I live at 630 Neighborhood Road, and I'm looking for a lot line adjustment for with my neighbor, 624, approximately 8 feet onto her property that we're going to adjust the line over to her side.
So this is Lowmeyer Lane over here, which runs down to the old Fred's place. This is the house that would be getting the land, this is the house that would be donating the land. I've run the calculation numbers. There will be, both houses will meet criteria for both requirements and setback.
Okay.
He just wants a little extra room next to his driveway.
That's it?
That came out nice.
Okay, here, thanks.
And again, we have a resolution from the planner.
Sit next to you.
This is a resolution granting lot line adjustment. Be it resolved, the Town of Ulster Planning Board hereby grants lot line adjustment as described above, subject to the conditions, limitations, and restrictions set forth below. Applicant must file with the Town of Ulster a map or plat for this lot line adjustment that has been prepared by a licensed surveyor. Said map may be filed with the county clerk after being signed by the chairman of the planning board. No changes or modifications shall be made to any map after approval by the planning board. The final plat must be filed with the office of the county clerk within 62 days of the date the plat is approved by the planning board. All fees, including consultant fees, shall be paid.
Okay, again, a motion to approve that.
Make a motion.
Make it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next will be the Xena development.
Hi, good evening. Alan Glad from Cuddy and Fader. Just very briefly, we made a submission on July 30th, and the purpose of that submission was just to provide this board with proof that we had applied to the Woodstock Planning Board for the necessary approvals, being site plan, wetland and watercourse permit, and then subdivision. We also provided the board with a copy of the Bud and Gun Club exhibit that we had discussed at the last meeting, but we did jazz it up a little bit. We just differentiated basically between the different buffers required for the different hunting items. So firearms are the 500 feet, but also there's a crossbow buffer, which is the purple, which is only 250 feet, and the green, which is the longbow buffer, which is only 150 feet. So we provided that as part of our other submission, and that's basically it as far as an update, and we're just here hoping that the board will authorize circulation for lead agencies so we can initiate seeker on the project.
Are you on the agenda for with the Woodstock Planning Board yet?
No, not yet. So the Land Conservancy filed an appeal with the building inspector's determination, so they've deferred planning board review until that is addressed with the ZBA.
Until the ZBA makes a decision?
Yes, I believe so.
When are they expected to make a decision?
So we're on, or well, it's not our appeal, it's their appeal. Their appeal's on the August 22nd agenda. I've been before the ZBA before. Usually they have one hearing, they close it, and they render the decision, within the 62 days that they're required to. So we could have a decision by end of September, early October.
Or earlier?
Or yeah, depending on how fast they move.
Will there be a public hearing?
Yes.
Is that scheduled for the 22nd? or is
Yes, that's already scheduled. Yep.
that- Great.
But we had also asked that it be dismissed in advance because we think that.
Yeah, we think there's some issues. I provided our correspondence to Woodstock earlier today, to the town. Basically, we think they didn't perfect their appeal on time, so we think it should be dismissed for that, and we'll be submitting more also on the merits later on.
So it's possible to have a decision on the 22nd?
I'm not sure if we'll have one on the 22nd. I'm sure they'll deliberate and come up with something written, but they are pretty strict with keeping their timelines if the hearing is closed on the 22nd, so I think September is a reasonable time to hope for a decision. Yeah, and our hope, just with requesting that you circulate for lead agency, is that the next time we come back to you, we can be ready to continue on with the review instead of just coming again for another meeting to be like, hey, it was dismissed, can you circulate for lead agency? And we go, yep, and just trying to save that, extra one meeting.
Sure.
My concern is we don't have our planner with us tonight, and this is going before the ZBA in August in Woodstock. I would like to see a decision of the zoning board. I understand that can be litigated as well, but at least a decision so this board can then move forward with your application.
Sure. Is like an acceptable compromise to authorize the preparation of the lead agency packet upon receiving a decision from the ZBA, so we don't have to come back again. So it kind of becomes self-effectuating, but it's still, waiting for that ZBA decision.
Well, I'd like, to see the decision, see what it is, and hopefully, for you, if they dismiss it, then we'll happy to move forward. But I think we need to see where they're going.
Any other questions from the board? Okay.
That's all I got for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay,
See you
thank you.
soon.
I hope so. Okay, and what everyone has been waiting for, the ridge at Wiltwyck. And if you can use the microphone, we would appreciate it.
Good evening. My name is Robert Hagokian, and I'm here to present the ridge at Wiltwyck, which is a townhouse project. There's proposed 82 units on this piece of property that touches Hillside Terrace and Lucas Turnpike. The proposal includes two roads, one off of Lucas Turnpike. Both roads are about 700 feet, one short, a little bit less, one a little bit more, and the other one is off Hillside Terrace. And what's proposed is 11 buildings with 6 units in each building, and an additional 4 buildings with 4 units. The layout has a proposed detention pond near Lucas Turnpike, and there's a connection for sanitary sewer under Lucas Turnpike, and also there's a water line that goes down an easement on the north side of the property. Today we're looking for the board to determine if this is a reasonable layout, so we can go to the zoning board because the proposal exceeds the density for the number of units for the side of the property. The 2 roads are designed with less than 10% slope, where the town code requires for the smaller roads to be under 12%. So we're good there. And I showed that the buildings are set back from the road so that there's ample parking and no need to allow or encourage people to park on the side of the road.
Yeah, the 100-foot setback also, I know.
Yeah, the project has a 100-foot setback around the property, marked by a line here. So there's no buildings within that 100-foot. And we have a number of retaining walls due to the steep slope on the property.
Mhm.
So to make the roads work safely, we can have them, come through here and just a bunch of retaining walls set back to work the steep slopes.
At a close look at the apartments, they're all identical.
Yes, they're 18, what's shown here is 18 feet wide by 36 feet long, 2 stories. The ones on the upper side of the hill, these here and those there, will have a garage where you can just drive right in, and the back side will be, working with the slope, so the second floor would be the garage floor would be underground.
How many bedrooms are going to be in the apartments?
These buildings shown 2 bedrooms in each unit.
Do you have any idea what the water consumption and sewage discharge is going to be from this project?
I met with the water superintendent and the sewer superintendent at the site, and they actually showed me the, Vincent showed me the wastewater line location, and we located that. No, I didn't go through the calculations, but both water superintendent and wastewater superintendent had told me that there's plenty of capacity for this project.
Okay. Yeah, because we're running into an issue in the town. We have old infrastructure, and the town's going to be on the hook for a lot of these new projects.
Well, this project would be pumped into the city of Kingston
Okay.
wastewater system.
This is not a public hearing.
No, I'm the developer. I represent the
He's part of
developer.
the team here.
That's why I
Okay.
came up.
So he's
That's
okay.
all.
He's with us.
So what I wanted to say with your issues with the water and that, we did talk to the head of the water department, and there was talk at one time about putting something up to better the pressure for the neighborhoods up there and to help the people that are already up there on water. We are willing to work with you guys on that. We would have to explore cost, but we are open to putting in anything that would be needed for pumping or increasing the water.
The plan shows a water booster station right there, and then also a sewage pump station, so that there'd be separate access just for the maintenance staff to not have to bother the community or encourage the community to come into that area. And they can, have a booster station for this and entertain some of the other low-pressure areas off of Hillside Terrace.
So we don't have a problem with you tying into it. What we're going to do is we're going to put in our own pump station with grinders in that, so that you're not just getting raw sewage dumping in, which is what causes your clogs, a lot of your issues. Ours is going to be processed and pumped out, so you're going to get more of a liquid rather than, what you get out of a lot of other units. And again, anything that, Warren or anyone was to come to us with and say, hey, could we tie something into this? We're open to that. The other thing I want to let you guys know that we're open to, because you're going to see my face 2 or 3 more times here. We're all into towns helping everybody out. The other thing we're open to for you guys to think about, and this is your town board, this is your issue, we're building in Walk Hill where they have us pay $5,000 per unit towards the town park. We just finished a bunch in Sorgeties. We're doing some more in Sorgeties. Sorgeties is having a problem with their ambulance staffing, their ambulance service. So what I said to them up there was, as developers come in, the people come in, it's a moneymaker for the developer. Start thinking about charging them a little something towards an EMS tax or something. But we're willing to work with the town and anything we can do to help them out. But any infrastructure that can help with your water, your sewer, as long as it's not a crazy cost, we're willing to help out with that.
And this is a maximum of 82 units?
Yes, that's what's proposed, and if this board says that's a reasonable layout for this property, we would need to go to the zoning board, which is scheduled for tomorrow, and tell them, can we, can you consider 82 units exceeding the, current zoning? So we would not go backwards. If they said yes, then that would be the cap and the limit for this property.
So something else I want to just bring to your attention is, we just finished 52 units up in Sorgeties. I'm sorry, 53. We started them September 28th. Every one of them are lived in. We were very surprised. We sold everything out. Majority of our 2 bedrooms, when I say majority, 75% are one person, and they're using that second room for their office so they can work at home. So we were very surprised how quick that rented out, but also the use isn't what we anticipated, because most of the people that came in and signed 5-year leases and stuff, one person working from home or commuting. So if there's nothing else for me, I just wanted to tell you, we did our homework. Pretty much we anticipate that we're going to end up with the same thing there. We're close to the thruway, where you're going to see the majority of those have one person staying in them.
Just curious, what would the average monthly rental be?
It's going to be between $22 and $23.50, which is very reasonable for the area. That's where we rent them out at. Like I said, Sorgety, some have a view, and the highest ones went for 24. The average ones went for 22. And every one of them were rented out for us in 3 months. We are going to be building across the street from that, another 110 units, and we already started a list of people who want to rent those. So we're not worried about renting them out, but we're also finding that we're not renting to a mother and 2 kids anymore. The people that are coming up are either an elderly couple that want to downsize, somebody lost a spouse, or people that are coming up here and they're working from home. And, you're not ending up with a bunch of people. No.
Thank
All
you.
right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's the current zoning limit for density in that area?
This is R30 zoning. Which is Remember how many units we?
If the zoning board says you're too dense, do you have a break point as to where it would be too expensive to continue with the project?
No.
No, we just
Um,
owned it for 40 years.
We felt that, 82 would have been close to the number, and that's what, I can I could fit more in there. There's a bunch more land up here, but as a designer, I said, this is a comfortable amount for this property.
But if they said no and you had to cut back, would 60 be too small?
We would discuss it. I would say, all right, how can we fit 60 in there? Could we shorten the roads? The owner told me that 82 was their target number. If it's not that, it might not move forward. Because that's the break point. And
So there's a breaking point of where it's profitable to do it and where it's not profitable to do it. So that's why we said, do a 100-foot buffer around. Up top, there's going to be more, leave as much nature as we can. But there becomes that point where your infrastructure, all of that, your dollar value, if you can't get X amount of dollars out of it in return, there's that point where it's not worth it. Building's not like it used to be. You come in on something like that, your infrastructure's around $7.5 million. That's before you even start putting a 2x4 up, before you even start, that's just your curbing, your drainage, your sewer, your water. So there is a breaking point where if it's dropped down, unfortunately, this gentleman's here because he's trying to sell it to us, but there's a number that if it goes below that, it's just not worth doing the project.
We've had it for 40 years, and we need somebody to buy it, because I'm getting old. And the town needs, housing, I believe. But I wish I had pictures of the one they're doing in Saugerties. It's really, really nice, really.
It's done.
Okay, I know it. The pictures are showed in town.
Yeah, we start one in Walk Hill tomorrow, we break ground, and the first tenants will be moving in Thanksgiving week. We didn't even break ground yet, and I think we already got like 26 units rented. The need for apartments that people can move into, function, get in. These apartments are a little different. Why I say there's a breaking point. Everybody has their own washer or dryer. You're not moving into a place where you got to buy a refrigerator, you got to buy a dishwasher. There's granite countertops in there. There's the top of the line utilities, the most cost-effective dryer, washer. They are a very upscale done unit, and we're not willing to compromise with that. They try to get us to go in Kingston in a couple spots. We're not dealing with any of that nonsense. We want to build a good product that a nice family or a retired couple or a single person can move into, get what they're paying for, and enjoy it. But there is a point, like I said, if it's scaled down, it's just not cost effective to build.
Understand.
All right?
Thank you.
Especially when you're talking a pump house, a sewer grinder.
Question. What is the construction of the buildings? What are you making the buildings out of? The construction?
The buildings, so he would have all of that. The buildings are all going to be wood frame construction.
Okay.
Everything will be exactly like the building inspector likes. What we do is we do floor to ceiling like Sorgeties. I did the fire department walkthrough. They couldn't be happier. There's floor to ceiling firewalls. There's no plumbing, there's no anything. Every unit is built as a separate building, and they are fire tight and about as good as you can get. I know Warren by the end of the day will love us, and you guys will welcome us back for 2 more projects. if we get this one going.
Is there a reason why the roads don't hook up?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's too steep. You can't get a safe grade from
Can't
one
do
to
it.
the other.
Too steep, and the other thing that we took into consideration and stuff here is there's a great development up there. My son lives where he can almost drive a golf ball to this project. So the other thing is, you know, he designed it so we don't got a lot of blasting, we don't got a lot of noise making. He really worked it with the topography. Before he got involved, it would have been a lot of blasting, crushing going on to drop grades, make it happen. So again, the reason for that is, all in all, just less impact in the area. To get that other road in would have required a switchback. Again, nobody wants to hear, you know, blasting and crushing and stuff going on in their backyard. We want to keep everything to a minimum. That was our biggest impact for noise for the community, was if everything went up and we had to change that steep grade.
Have you considered setting aside some units for affordable housing?
No. Nope, I'll be totally honest with you. We do not do affordable housing. We're not interested in it. What we did do, I'll tell you, for the city of Kingston, we tried to do a nice thing on Block Island, and they insisted that we had to have X amount of low income. We said, listen, if you want us to take a spot over here and throw you up 10 or 12 low income, but nobody was coming in to pay. I'm a realistic person. I believe in low income housing, helping everybody out. But we're looking to bring people in, have a peaceful atmosphere. We're going to be coming to you guys shortly, and people think I'm nuts, but about a 55 and above gated community. And again, it's all about safety, people enjoying their life. It doesn't mix, and it does not work as a landlord renting stuff out. So there would be no low-income housing in there.
I appreciate your candor on this.
That's, it's honesty, we won't do low-income housing.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else from the
Here's a
board?
picture.
We just want to show is what, for one thing,
Example.
a sample of what the houses look like.
Okay.
That's
And I
the sort
think-
That's their Saugerties project, yeah.
I think Warren visited the place in Saugerties. Right, Warren, did you go to Saugerties and see the existing ones up there? Oh, okay. I thought you did.
Everybody thinks I sit in my office and drink coffee all day. No. I will get out there, but
Yeah.
not right now.
You won't hear from me again, but I had to meet with Saugerties today. And Saugerties is so excited for us for the land we bought across the street. We were working on a hard access to get in there. So basically, everything from the Dodge dealer to the end of North Street we bought. The town of Saugerties, today, I met with them, they are giving us a 1/16 of an acre so that we can have an easier access of town land over to us, because they're that excited to see us build there again.
So don't hold us to this number, but it looks like 41 units is up to code. Anything above 41 units would require a variance.
Well, we know we're required a variance, and that's why we're on
I
the
just wanted
agenda for
to be
tomorrow.
aware that
The
41
question-
is
Yeah,
the legal limit. Obviously, you can seek a variance for a greater amount. I would just caution you that 82 units,
the
100%
double, yeah.
increase. I mean, to me, that seems like a substantial variance. But
Unless the
you can
zoning board
certainly
to
apply for
consider,
whatever you want to apply for.
yeah.
Okay.
We get a recommendation or what's your consensus, what you think?
Or conceptual, do you feel comfortable?
Strictly introduction. Appreciate your time. And we'll see what happens with the zoning board.
Well, is
and where
there
we go
anything
from-
that this board can, say for the zoning board, to say you have a level of comfort, or that this is a reasonable layout? It's only a layout, it's not, your design may change everything. For example, it's a guesstimate for the detention pond sizing. There's a whole grading plan, a very elaborate grading plan that will need to be created. As you're aware, the DEC, stormwater requirements are huge. And
Oh, I
there's gonna be a
understand.
lot more planning and, reviews, but for initial layout, does this seem reasonable for that particular property is what we're, asking this board. And if if you're not ready for a decision tonight, but say you will give us one and give the zoning board one, at least we know something will be coming, because that's what they'll be looking for, is some kind of feel from this board.
I will say I'm concerned about the road. I think the road really needs to try to meet up with the other side of the property, for traffic safety, for
Well, we
ingress
have,
and
we met
egress.
with the county, and I presented this, location for site distance and so forth, and they said that sounds, is a, acceptable spot, so that was established. This is, established already, there's the, 50-foot strip right through here. So I think access is,
That access is about equal to where the fire company access is?
I think it's right across the street, yeah, lined up.
Okay.
What were they saying about putting a light there too, the fire department?
Well, we can meet with them. I don't know if there's a real need for this level, level of service on this turnpike. It's not that, it's low in the grades of level of service, so. And then we were, presenting a pull-off too, so that, you can pull off just as a standard DOT pull-off for the bigger roads like 9W and 32 and some other ones around this area. But the roads, have consideration for here, for this turn, that's plowing, you've got snow storage, there's a lot of comfort in this layout that I thought to. It's like up here, I saved the spot so that this can be all plowed and then have some kind of stormwater conveyance that will catch it and let it melt and then come work its way right down to the
Sure.
detention pond. So in plowing snow, you have comforts of making it easy, making it safe. The easier it is, the safer it will be for the users.
Have you been in for a planning board workshop?
I met with Warren, but not for a workshop, no.
I would encourage that a workshop.
Before this board can,
Before next meeting.
okay.
Workshops are what, the first Wednesday?
Third Wednesday, it'll be next Wednesday.
Third Wednesday.
Okay, and how far ahead of time do you need to be asked to be on the workshop schedule?
Just get
Are we
hold of
doing 3
Megan
days?
for
Week before,
an appointment.
Yeah.
kind of informal,
Okay.
We already have one, we're probably gonna have two, so we're all gonna be there anyhow, hopefully,
Okay.
yeah.
So should we go to the next meeting tomorrow?
Well, we're on the agenda. We can
Sure.
share the information that we learned and let them get a feel and see if they have additional recommendations
Okay,
so
good.
that we could share their ideas at the workshop meeting.
Okay, great, excellent. Sounds like a plan.
I would contact Megan, she coordinates that.
Okay.
Okay, I know.
Has the fire company reviewed this plan?
No.
Then, that might be another,
Well,
That will
I
fall
thought we were
out
going
of
to
the
do that
workshop.
more toward the
yeah.
designing stages, not necessarily just
Well,
for
that's
a
true.
simple layout. Because we're just trying to say, does this layout seem generally reasonable that we should go forward, at least with the zoning board, and then the zoning board could say yes, no, maybe, and then we can come back with, real design stuff
Well,
way
that's
later.
true.
And that's where I would, meet with the fire department and make sure that they're perfectly comfortable with, these standard cul-de-sacs, but still, maybe they're finding that, hey, bigger trucks these days are needing a few more feet. The code's a little bit older and not necessarily, the new trucks are bigger, so it is something very wise to do up front.
Okay. I think we have our input and probably until the workshop
Okay, well, thank you for
be your
hearing
next
us.
step.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Yeah. Anything else the board needs? Motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, planning board for August is adjourned.
You did good, Frank.
Good job, Frank.
Good job.
Thank you, Jason.
Good to have you back.
Guy stayed on the whole time.